Hello and welcome. I'm Diana Hoff, and I'm your host for this installment of Mountain West IRA's Continuing Free Education. Today is all about investing for passive returns in real estate. But before we start, of course, I just want to remind you that Mountain West IRA doesn't offer investment, tax, financial, or legal advice to clients or endorse any specific investments. Individuals who believe they need advice should consult with a professional like Heather. Today, we're going to be talking with our very special guest, Heather Dreves, who is the Director of Funding at Secured Investment Corp and is also a fund manager. For those of you who've not had the pleasure of hearing Heather before, let me tell you a little bit about her. Heather started with Secured Investment Corp in 2012 as an investor relations manager. They immediately realized that she would bring great value and strength to the fund management team, and she's been serving as the Director of Funding and as a fund manager ever since. She's been in the private money space for the past 15 years and has raised over $200 million in her time with Secured Investment Corp. Heather, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a real honor.
Oh dear, you cut out there for just a second. Are you still there?
Yep, I'm still here. I can hear
okay,
you.
Perfect.
I said thank you for having me. It's a real honor. We've worked with Mountain West IRA for many years, so I was very excited when you asked me to be on this presentation.
Oh, thank you so much. So, Heather, everyone knows that real estate and real estate investing is an incredible way to build wealth. But not everyone can go out and pursue those high dollar deals to get into a fund as an accredited investor. And not everyone has $500,000 to put down on a single family home to use as a rental or an Airbnb. So I'm asked all the time how people get started in real estate investing. And the answer is so broad.
Right.
I mean, it really depends on how deep you want to wade in that real estate pool. Do you want to do the work, find the deals, be the landlord, find the tenants? Do you want to find the distressed property, fix it up, turn it around and sell it? Or do you want to put your money to work and then sit back and collect the rewards?
Right.
That's why today we're really going to be talking about passive investing, how you can make your money work for you. This is a really popular tool for investors using their self-directed IRAs to grow their retirement wealth. Because they like that you're not dependent on a questionable stock market or investing in slow-growing bonds
Yes.
or unstable annuities. Real estate is that tangible asset that doesn't blow away when the economy gets interesting. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I just love this so much. I love to go through it. So, Heather, let's back up. Let's give folks some background. So tell me a bit of your history. How did Secured Investment Corp come about?
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting story because a lot of people assume we've always been a private lender and we've always managed funds. But Secured Investment Corp really cut our teeth in the education space. We have a division of our company that educates people on how to be investors. And so we have programs that teach people how to find real estate deals, how to, do things like actually write a purchase and sale contract and an offer, how to put a rehab bid together. And so it was great as a company because we were educating all these people on how to find these deals. But what we found was a lot of them didn't have the funding for it. And that's really where the private money company came into play in this whole environment that we've created. Is we decided that we were going to go into the private money space and help people get the funding to buy the deals. And that was a great, addition to what we already offered. But then we started talking with a lot of people that said, we love real estate. I've been a landlord before. I've flipped properties. I don't want to do that anymore. I want someone else to do that for us. And so, like you were mentioning, they were looking for something more passive. They wanted to go into either a fund or a note or something of that nature where residential real estate was backing and securing their money, but they wanted to be hands off. And so really that's where we evolved to being fund managers. That was 8 years ago. And we found that there were so many people out there with IRAs, 401ks, college savings accounts, and they wanted it invested in residential real estate, and they weren't getting those opportunities and options from financial advisors and money managers. And so they were seeking this product. And really that's where we got into the fund management business, was really just to be able to offer that, opportunity to those types of people, that kind of an asset class.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, I know that not everyone can invest in a lot of the opportunities that are out there because there are often requirements such as being an accredited investor. So
yes.
What makes Secured Investment Corp different and unique when it comes to this type of investment?
No, that's a great question. So I will tell you, in full disclosure, we first started with a fund that was for accredited investors only. And it was great. We were very successful. We still have that fund around. Our biggest challenge was two things. One, not everybody was an accredited investor. And two, our minimum was $50,000. So we had all these clients that, I seeded my IRA with $6,500, but I really don't have. So 3 years ago, we decided as a company, we were going to go through the very long due diligence process of getting approved for what's considered a Regulation A+ fund. And really what that means to the general public is that anybody can invest in it. You don't have to have a net worth of $1 million, and you $1,000. And so 2 years ago, we opened our first Regulation A+ fund up, and we set it with a minimum of $1,000.
Wow.
So I think that's what is what.
Wow, it's $1,000. I can't even picture that, because there's not a lot out there that's available for people who are just starting out in real estate investing.
No.
So how can an IRA investor use your system, and can they invest both personally and with their IRA?
No, that's a great question. So they can do both. And we have a lot of people that do both. We have people that we work with that have, their little nest egg of their savings account, and they're looking to deploy it. And then they, on the other side of it, they're utilizing IRA tax advantages, through things like IRAs. College savings accounts are really popular right now. And especially old 401ks that they never rolled over. I know you guys, we've sent you quite a few clients that you have been so gracious enough to help move that money, because I think the biggest challenge people have is with these old 401ks, they just don't know how to do it. They don't know who to get a hold of. They don't even know what the process is. So more often than not, they leave that money sitting there doing nothing. It's such a shame. So, you guys have been a wonderful source of referrals for us to. Once their accounts, whether it's IRA, 401k, college savings accounts, are set up with a custodian like you guys, like Mountain West IRA, then we will do all the heavy lifting for them. It's custodian that will allow them to invest in the fund. Right. And so once that money's with a custodian, much like you guys, then they just have to let us know, hey, Heather, I got our money moved over. We're ready to go. And we will do everything for them. We will fill out their direction of investment form. The really neat thing about our fund that I have found people really like with IRAs is they can actually roll their earnings. So we pay out earnings on a monthly basis, and they don't have to take a payout of those earnings. They can roll them back into their equity. And then at the end of the year, we'll help them do their fair market evaluation form for you guys so that you can make sure that they're at proper value, with your guys' record keeping.
That's awesome. So then they can roll it back in and keep reinvesting and just keep growing it.
Yeah. And it's just a compounding effect, and it's crazy how quick those accounts grow. And
yeah, especially when they don't have to worry about taxes while they're doing it. So that is very cool. So can you maybe tell me one or more of your success stories?
yeah, I would love to. Like I said, our fund is backed by all residential real estate assets. We don't space, we're not doing self storage, and there's lots of opportunity with those types of funds. But we learned a long time ago that we stay in our lane. What we teach people is how to invest in residential real estate. But then on the fund management side of it, we practice what we preach. And that is what we invest the fund's money into. I can't tell you how many clients I've had that are retired and they want capital preservation. So they want to be able to live a retired life off of their earnings and not really have to dip into their. Quite a few couples. Most recently, we've started working with a lot of dentists that are looking to sell their practices. They are investing their monies that they've saved, whether that's through IRA accounts and some 401ks and savings accounts, and they live very comfortable retired lives off of just their earnings, and so they're preserving their capital, and probably someday they're going to leave a legacy for their kids and their families, but also be able to live the lifestyle that they're accustomed to. That's really common. What I've seen more recently is young people, young people that are traditional. They're not, utilizing money managers and financial advisors as much as they used to. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, because we believe in having a diversified portfolio. But they're taking, their wealth building into their own hands, and they're getting started, and you don't have too little to get started, especially with $1,000 minimum. You can start anywhere. And
Right.
so, I think that the fund that we have, having such a small minimum amount of $1,000, gives that opportunity to people that, even if they're not, younger, maybe they just didn't start saving for retirement when they should have, and they're just getting started. It's a way that they can, get their money to work, get good yields on their money, but also backed by residential real estate.
Right. Boy, I really wish I'd known all this kind of stuff when I was back in the corporate world. I had my 401k and it was doing amazing while I was in the corporate world.
Mm-hmm.
It never really occurred to me, though, that one of the reasons it was doing so well was that I was regularly contributing to it.
Right.
It wasn't until after I left that and started doing something else that I looked back at that 401k and realized that not only was it not growing at all, that occasionally it was slipping backwards. And people leave jobs and leave those 401ks sitting out there, and sometimes they just assume they're going to keep growing without being babysat, and sometimes they're just not in good funds.
Right.
I unfortunately
I think we all
can. My 401k in 2006, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So,
we all can say that, I think. And I think one of the other things that's really unique about our fund is you experience and you learn about funds that are in the real estate industry, and a lot of them are very focused on one thing, right? Okay, so self-storage is a perfect example. There's great opportunity for growth, but they are hedging the bet that the value is going to increase, and that's their stream of income. Our fund is somewhat diversified because we generate revenue for our fund members, create income for the fund by lending the money out to other real estate investors. So a couple streams of income that occur from that are things like origination points. So when we charge a borrower an origination point, a portion of that goes to the fund profit. We also receive interest income from the payments that the borrowers make. So when we lend the money, the borrowers have to make payments. They're interest-only payments. That's another stream of income. So that's 75% of the fund balance. The other 25%, we actually invest in real estate in the Pacific Northwest. So in Spokane, Washington, and Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, we have an acquisition team, and we target residential real estate assets, and we buy those mainly with the intention of fixing and flipping, and that's another stream of income. And so what I have found, I'm one of 3 fund managers, our returns are very consistent. We don't see lots of peaks and valleys because we have the ability to say, okay, originations are a little slower this month, let's maybe go buy another property, and vice versa. We want very, constant returns. And I think that has helped us balance the funds a lot. Everybody's talking about this. The market's great right now, especially in Boise. Boise's a hot market. But with the residential, we have some other options where we can pivot in the event that we do see declines in markets. Maybe we buy properties and hold them as rentals and wait for the market to come back up. Big jumbo home loans, there's a little bit more opportunity to pivot in the event that, we see markets decline because we're staying in that residential space.
Oh, that's fantastic. So if people want to know more or they want to get some specific information,
Sure.
How can people get in touch with you if they want to know more?
So they can always go to our website at securedinvestmentcorp.com. There is a option on there to actually put their information into the website. You can get more information. And there's a team of 3 of us, myself and 2 others, Lisa and Zach, and we'd love to schedule an appointment to talk with people, and we can go a little more granular into what we do and what we have to offer. So that's always at securedinvestmentcorp.com. They also can email us at info@securedinvestmentcorp.com or call our direct number at 800-971-5988.
That's fantastic. I know that so many people have had questions about this. I love that they're going to be able to contact you directly and get more information. And for those of you who are watching, if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the comments. If you're watching the replay and you put in a question, we'll get back to you with any kind of information that you want. But Heather, oh my gosh, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah.
If you are watching that replay and have questions, folks, please contact us using the information below, which I should probably put up so people can see it. There we go. So if you're listening to the podcast, you can reach us by going to mountainwestira.com. You can email us at accounts@mwira.com, or you can call us at 866-377-3311. Now, be sure to like and follow us to be notified of upcoming free education. I'm going to convince Heather to come on with us again and go into this a little more in depth. And we'll see you soon. Heather, again, thank you so much.
Everyone, it was a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. I love talking with you guys, and it's been too long. So
yes.
Everyone, be well, be safe, and always remember to pay yourself first. Goodbye.
Goodbye.